Sorry to anybody who was expecting Selmer here. I'm not quite as good at stirring the water as he is, but I'll do my best. So I'm going to be presenting on our approach to cognitively robust synthetic characters. And you see a bunch of names listed here. These are all our collaborators, all of whom are in the Rensselaer AI and Reasoning lab at RPI. So the problem is probably pretty easy to explain to you guys, but I should preface it just by saying that the domain in which we're particularly interested in this research is virtual environments, either entertainment-focused or wargaming. Either of those domains could apply here. So we see a number of very old, well, not all are so old, but some older video games, many of which I've enjoyed quite a bit. And they all use NPCs, or non-player characters, or in other situations we might, where we don't have an NPC, we might have an avatar, which is supposed to be a representation of the human player in the virtual world. Now what all of these systems have in common is that while they make an attempt to produce a compelling person, I don't think they're expecting that anybody's actually fooled, but more to the point, nobody is fooled, and the reason for this is that these synthetic characters that are produced are effectively autistic. That is to say, they don't have mental states about other people's mental states, which is actually the definition of autism. So, in fact, even the, I guess the state of the most popular recent games, this is a screenshot from a player creation interface in The Sims, where you would create a person. This would be sort of your avatar, I suppose. The intelligence, or the the intelligence behind the avatar is described in a series of 5 attributes, with each attribute having one of possibly 10 values. So really, you only get about 100,000, I suppose, different characters out of the system. And they're cute. If you've ever played The Sims, they do little things that you might ascribe to being human-like, but they are in no way convincing. So what we would like to do is produce a cognitively robust synthetic character, and the question is, what are the key components that would be that would need to go into that? Now, we're not doing AGI exactly. We are focused on particular aspects in particular domains, but we do hold to the thesis that any attempt at AGI would require a theory of mind. Now, that theory of mind would either need to be designed, or in some cases it might emerge, but without it, you would be hard-pressed to having an avatar or a synthetic character or any intelligent agent which is truly general. I mean, you could take the case out of natural language processing. How is it that we can expect to understand what a human is saying if we can't reason over the beliefs of the individual? So as I said, some characteristics that we need to capture are our agent needs to have beliefs about his or her own beliefs, needs to have beliefs about other people's beliefs, and beliefs about those people's beliefs about our beliefs, and so on, for however complicated we want it to be. And some of the behaviors that we've paid particular focus to where this requirement is particularly important would be, for example, where you want to have a system that can lie to another person, actually convince a human that something which is completely false is true. What goes into lying? Well, we need to know how the person will respond to whatever false statements I'm going to make in order to correctly convince them of whatever it is that I want to convince them of. So, and that's just one example. There are a number of other situations that this applies to, and we've investigated a number, and I'll show you what they are in a minute. But just to give you a brief background on some of the relevant prior work that's been very related to this research, we have a synthetic character, E, who is supposed to be, or at least is designed to be, the embodiment of evil. And the idea here is that E is able to reason about his own beliefs, and to some degree can reason about the beliefs of others, but does so incorrectly. So in this particular situation, E is not able to correctly reason about how his own actions will affect other people. And we have, and this system is, we have a demonstration of this. A video is actually available online of E walking through the reasoning that he went through when deciding to perform certain actions that are fairly obviously questionably, or morally questionable. Another problem that's very relevant to our work is what is called the wise man puzzle. So in this puzzle, there are 3 wise men, although you could extend this problem for arbitrarily many wise men. And this manifests in a number of different ways, but in this case we have each wise man being given a hat. And that hat is either colored black or colored white, and any particular wise man cannot see what color hat he is wearing. He can, however, observe the hats of everyone around him. So all of the wise men are given hats, and they're told that at least one of you is wearing a white hat. And the question is, what can you infer? So wise man A takes a look at the wise men B and C and concludes that he can't make any rational decision about whether or not he's wearing a white hat. This tells wise men B and C that one of them must be wearing a white hat, because if neither of them was wearing a white hat, then A could have inferred that he was the one wearing the white hat. So both B and C know that one of them is wearing a white hat, and there we go. And then, as B also announces that he does not know whether or not he's wearing the white hat, this allows C to infer that he, in fact, must be wearing the white hat, because if he was wearing the black hat, he knew that B would have seen that black hat and been able to deduce that B was wearing the hat. So that's, yes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay. That should be okay. So we've taken this problem and encoded it using an epistemic logic and solved it in the general problem. So for any n wise men that you want to use, we can use automated reasoning systems to solve that problem. So let's see what the next slide is real quick. Okay, good. So there's a few demonstrations that we've put together that relate more closely to the virtual worlds environment, where we think that these worlds are a really good platform for testing out the systems that we produce to deal with reasoning about other agents' beliefs. I'm just going to show one video really quickly. It should only take 2 minutes. And what will happen in this scenario is there will be one automated agent, and this is a real demo, so the agent is actually automated, and it's all done in Second Life. And the agent is going to be presented with 2 suitcases, and in one of the suitcases there's going to be a gun. And so the agent will observe that, well, we might as well start it. I can show you. Is that working? Okay. So there we go. We've got the cognitive, the synthetic character is the obviously non-human looking one. And he observes 2 suitcases. The red one has a gun in it, and he acknowledges that he sees that there is a gun in the red suitcase. And one of the experimenters, the one in the suit, is going to leave the room so that he can no longer observe the situation. And while he's gone, the other experimenter is going to take the gun move it into the other briefcase, and make sure that the synthetic character, in this case named Ed, is aware that this gun has been moved into the other briefcase. Okay. So the robot sees that the gun's in the, what is that, the green briefcase? The non-red one, and acknowledges that. And then we bring the experimenter that left, we bring him back, and we ask Ed if the experimenter who left, I think his name is Bindstrand or something, if that experimenter wanted to find the gun, in which suitcase would he look? Now, children of a young enough age who cannot reason about the beliefs of other people would get this problem wrong. They would say he'd look in the green suitcase because the child knows that the gun is in the green suitcase and wouldn't know that wouldn't recognize that the person wasn't there to see the gun moved. But in this case, the agent comes to the correct conclusion that the experimenter would look in the red suitcase. So, and that should happen now. Yeah. So that's pretty much it.